Good afternoon. This is Luke Robinson with your planning briefing for August 12th. So our key points that we'll be focusing on for the rest of the week and going into early next week will be hot and dry conditions through the rest of this week, increasing westerly winds starting on Saturday afternoon and they peak on Sunday, and then a potential wetting rain for some locations early next week, and then cooler conditions Monday and Tuesday, which will likely stay with us through the rest of the week. We're looking at seasonable temperatures, if not slightly below normal for this time of the year. So to start off with the weather threat matrix, we do have north central Idaho highlighted as moderate for hot and dry conditions. We do have a lot of locations in the lowest valleys getting into the 100s today, maybe even up to 105, 107 in the Orofino area and Riggins area. That continues through Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday we do have a heat advisory out for the Orofino locations. Everywhere else we will be hot and dry, but we're not going to be exceptionally hot and dry. And then going into the weekend, as mentioned on the earlier slide, we'll start to see an increase in winds on Saturday, but particularly on Sunday, where we could see some gusts in the higher terrain along the Continental Divide getting up to 40 miles per hour or higher. The rest of the terrain west of the divide, we're looking at 25 to 30 miles per hour as a common range, and then in the valleys around 20 to 25 miles per hour. We could see a few isolated thunderstorms for Sunday and Monday, but confidence on that is fairly low. If there is any, it will be hit and miss. This is our current satellite for the Pacific Northwest. You can see up into the northwest as we're in this west-northwest flow. We are starting to see some smoke moving into western Montana and north central Idaho from some of the fires in eastern Washington. And we do have a few mid to high level clouds moving through the area as well. So the hottest and driest day will be Saturday throughout the region. As mentioned, Orofino getting up to around 107, Riggins getting into the around 105, and then most other regions in western Montana will be in the mid to upper 90s, with the exceptions for northwest Montana, Libya and Troy, and perhaps Trout Creek could possibly crack that 100-degree mark. Our min-RHs are going to be quite dry, mid to upper teens for most. Some locations will be in the low 20% range. We will start to see a slight increase in winds late in the afternoon or early evening, but again, the strongest winds are not expected to arrive until Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, right now this is what we are expecting for the max wind gusts for Sunday afternoon and evening going through around sunset. Like I said, we have about 25 to 30 in the valleys and 40 and possibly up to 50 in some of the highest terrain along the Continental Divide, particularly up around Glacier National Park. So speaking of our pattern change, we will have a shortwave moving in starting early next week. Right now our confidence is low on the timing of mounts and the placement of the amounts of rainfall. Hopefully here in the next day or two we'll be able to key in on a better solution. But this is a map of showing the probability of getting a wetting rain across western Montana and north central Idaho. As you can see, locations along the Continental Divide in northwest Montana and the higher terrain have the best chance of seeing a wetting rain. Glacier National Park, the Flathead National Forest, we're looking at 50 to 60% chance of seeing that wetting rain. Other locations for the valleys, Dubuque Blackfoot region, Upper Clark Fork region, seeing about a 40 to 50% chance of seeing a wetting rain. Now this is the probability of seeing a 1/4 of an inch or more. Right now this indicating that it's mainly going to be along the Continental Divide and mostly in the terrain. It looks like a decent chance for Glacier National Park to see a wetting rain above Marshalls, the Missions, and the Sealy Swan Ranges, seeing a 1/4 of an inch or more. And again, I would like to stress that confidence right now is low on these rainfall amounts, the timing, and the placement. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully here in a couple of days we'll be able to narrow down on a scenario. So early next week, we are expecting this troughiness to stick around through most of the week. So for Monday's highs, we're looking at upper 70s, low 80s for a lot of locations in western Montana, low 90s for the lowest valleys in north central Idaho. And then by Tuesday, most locations are either in the upper 60s or low to mid 70s. And then going forward through the rest of the week, we stay around those seasonable temperatures, mid 70s to low 80s. And we're also going to be looking at cloud cover, so our RHs will be improving for this week as well. So some locations may not see a whole lot of precipitation with this feature moving in early in the week, but at least most locations will see a great improvement in the relative humidity. So the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook is looking pretty good for at or below normal temperatures for much of the Northern Rockies. And this goes from August 17th through the 21st. And then for precipitation, it's looking good for locations along the Continental Divide, points further west. Again, we're not quite sure where this precipitation is going to line up, but at least some wetting rains for some are on the way. That concludes the briefing. Our next briefing will be Sunday, August 15th. Thank you and have a good day.